Continuing on with looking at realities, we now need to look at how parent and adult distracted driving habits and behaviors affect children. Let's check out a PSA.
Sometimes Mom, she tries to lean back with her knee on the wheel while texting like that.
My mom talks on the phone like this. Blah, 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 blah. Well, Daddy sometimes holds the phone like this and drives at the same time. Sometimes my mom picks up the phone and texts like this. And also talks, and I don't like when he does that, so I keep on telling him both hands on the wheel.
I've never thought about it before, and I know I need to change it.
I need to change the way I drive.
I just never thought my kid was paying that much attention to my driving.
Recent research now estimates it's at least 80% of new drivers who've been affected by watching their parent distracted driving behavior as they grew up. As the PSA mentioned, this is a big problem. New drivers, no skills, really very, very little experience. You cannot afford to drive the same way as a parent who maybe has 20 years experience and gets by when they drive distracted. We don't want parents to drive distracted ever, but the fact is many do, but they have that experience and skill to fall back on. You don't have that. And if you drive the same way, it's a big problem. We need to talk a little bit about how the parents affect their children when it comes to driving. Studies are now showing that most parents don't understand that they are the biggest influence on their child's driving, but they are by far. Children start to learn driving habits and behaviors from actually watching their parents drive at age 4, if you can believe that. We need to talk a little bit about brain development. New research is showing that there are 2 brain growth spurts for humans, one around age 3 and one around age 11. This research is showing that many behaviors are set for children before age 12. I've definitely spoken to children 4 years of age who could perfectly describe their parents' distracted driving habits and behaviors. So imagine if a child sees this from 4 years old to driving age, then there's minimal chance for change. This is exactly why so many new drivers are getting into wrecks. They've seen this behavior and noticed it and learned it over 11 years, even before they get a license. I'm now spending a lot of time educating parents about this new research. All parents need to know they are and always will be the most influential factor on their children's driving habits and behaviors. We need to mention something about smartphones because smartphones are certainly the 800-pound gorilla of distracted driving, along with infotainment systems, but really the smartphones are the big one. We need to explain a little bit about the hands-free myth. It's thought by many, many people, especially many parents, if you're on a hands-free phone call, you're safer. That is not true. The mental distraction of any phone call, whether it's hands-free or handheld, is the majority of the problem. Let me explain why. I have a little scenario here. Think basketball free throws. I was doing a celebrity event, it was a couple of years ago, and I asked a very, very famous professional basketball player, I asked him, how do you do those free throws when you've got all those people behind the backboard going crazy? How does that work? The bottom line is, he said, what I do is I focus on a particular point on the backboard, and I focus so hard I know exactly how to make the throw, but my eyes focus exactly on that point. That's the point that I always practice, and actually all those people, they just disappear, and I don't even see them. Unbelievable talent, but that same kind of talent is exactly what happens in a hands-free phone call. Your mind is on that phone call and everything else disappears. And that disappearance is in your peripheral or fringe vision, guys. So please understand, any phone call, but even a hands-free one, your peripheral vision is not going to work. They've done a ton of research on this for several years now. And you just have to know this. So please, no phone calls, hands-free or otherwise. Now, if any of you happen to see your parents driving distracted, like manipulating their phones or making phone calls, I hope you say something. This will help you and younger siblings if you have them. You can certainly be the start of a safer driving solution in your own family by speaking up and having a discussion about distracted driving. But remember, don't have an argument in the car, because arguing with someone while they're driving would also be a driving distraction. So if you're nervous about it, wait till you get home. Driver education teachers frequently see distracted driving habits and behaviors the students have picked up from watching their own parents. I mean, they tell me things like rolling through stop signs, running red lights, ignoring speed limits, tailgating, all types of phone use, and even aggressive and impatient driving. Believe me, that's what a driving education teachers are telling me. They're actually seeing the students exhibiting this when the teacher's sitting next to them. It's pretty obvious to the teachers after about 5 minutes. They tell me, yeah, I can tell you how their parents drove. Those same exact distracted and dangerous driving habits you saw in that list are exactly the ones causing most of the fatalities for new drivers in the US. They do not have to happen. It's very important that we give parents an out. And when I say that, I mean that I'm a traffic safety expert. Your driver ed teacher is an expert in this area. Parents are not. 99.99% of parents are not driver education teachers, are not traffic safety experts. Your parents did not grow up with smartphones. Driver education certainly didn't prepare them for this. Parent education, well, there really is no parent education. So the bottom line is, this is new information. Because parents haven't been taught about any of this, it's very important that the word gets out. And experts, traffic safety experts, are now telling parents, explaining to parents, your driving behaviors will pass on to your children. And again, if we had a very difficult driving test, things would be different, because you'd have to unlearn some of the things you'd seen in order to pass. But there are solutions, and we're going to talk about solutions because it's very important.